the history of Hairspray is really interesting because, you have the original film, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the film with John Travolta, and then you have the TV version, and of course it ran on Broadway, and you have all of the tours and the cruise ships and every other version that has existed out there. But a lot of people don't recognize or realize that this was actually based on a true story.
Yes, it was a true story. It's based on the Buddy Dean show out of Baltimore. And during that time, segregation was illegal. But they chose to keep their program segregated, and people were fighting against it. And they had a Negro Day once a month, and they just kept fighting against it. And in the end, the show ended up closing because they chose not to integrate. So it wasn't a happy ending like we have it in Hairspray. What actually happened is they had to, actually I believe it was NBC who put it off the air because they would not integrate the show.
Right. And so John Waters took that story and then created this movie, which at the time was considered subversive and very shocking. Him as a provocateur and as an artist, you hear his name, you think of all of the works that he's done, and it becomes shocking, and you think about that. So he creates this movie and casts a drag queen as Edna, right? Which then that tradition, of course, is carried on over throughout the years. But at the time, it was vulgar, it was crass, it was this thing that was also satirical and poking fun at all the things that society has said are wrong. Society has said is not acceptable. Obviously the segregation piece, and then you add in fat phobia, you add in homophobia, you add in all of these layers that are into this piece. Then the show morphs, and then it becomes the Broadway musical, right? And things are cleaned up and things are taken out. And then it goes on from there to become the film, and then things are added, things are taken out. And then it goes on to become another film where things are added and things are taken out. And then because of world events, particularly George Floyd, there were a lot of people in high schools and people who were like, Hairspray is fun, exciting, let's just do Hairspray, it's gonna be fun. And then they would start casting it not the way that it's supposed to be cast.
Absolutely.
And then they would start modifying the story so that way it was about Tracy saving the day. And that's never really been what the story is about. And so the authors then went back in light of George Floyd, in light of a lot of other things, to really make it clear in the script that that was not the case, that Tracy becomes an ally to help the people who are leading the fight at all times. And that's one of the things that we've talked a lot about when we were putting this together,
we wanted to make sure that that's what our version of the story says, that it had nothing to do with her coming to save a day. And the reason why his movie was so outrageous, he was trying to show how silly all of those things are in a really big way. Like, isn't this dumb to be racist? Isn't this dumb to be against a person because because they're gay or lesbian? Or isn't this dumb?
Skin,
because their skin color, or isn't it? And so he made it super outrageous to show how ignorant it looked.
Absolutely, and that has continued to carry through. And I think that the thing that I really love about the show is it is so cleverly done, in the sense that it is this really high energy, high octane show with a serious undertone. And it is a lot of people's, particularly an audience that is primarily white, who are visiting musical theaters and Broadway theaters and things like that. It is, for a lot of people, a way for them to take a look at racism and have that seed planted of segregation and living the right way and making the choices of being an ally and taking a look at it and saying, yeah, isn't it stupid that we just can't dance together? Isn't it, right? I mean, Tracy asked that question, and sitting there recognizing, yeah, it's pretty stupid.
And just in that moment deciding, this is still going on, and why? Because this is so long ago, but here we are, and it's still going on.
Right,
why?
right. And you think about it, I mean, we're in 2026, and I mean, we're talking 64 years ago that these real life events happened, which doesn't seem like, for some of these younger folks in our cast and things like that, seems like a million years ago. But for some of us more seasoned folks, it's really not that long ago. I mean, I was born in 77.
Born in 75.
Right. So, and we're literally talking a decade earlier that this stuff was happening.
I think the thing that people need to take away is, yes, this is a great show, and we all know the songs, and we all love to sing it, and we all, yeah, this is the best, and we sing along. But it's often like when you're singing a song that you really like, and you don't really listen to the words until you see someone that maybe shouldn't be saying those words say it, and then you go, oh, like a child. And so people need to stop and listen and hear what this play really means. That yes, it's joyous and beautiful, but we're not gonna sugarcoat the truth, right? And so the point is, we can enjoy this show, but also remember.
Mm-hmm.